All right, so we back with another episode from the Porter perspective. The question here, how much does it cost to sell your soul? What is your soul worth? Is it worth fame, riches? What if you've been broke your entire life and you finally see an opportunity to have something, to feel meaningful, to feel important, to think that you matter? What would you be willing to do for that? In light of everything that's happening right now in the industry, and as social media would tell you, it seems as if many celebrities, many of the people that so many others have put on a pedestal, unfortunately, are not what they seem. So we start this by unpacking what it means to sell your soul and what are you willing to do along the way. Let's start here, Mr. West.
And if they take everything away from me, it wouldn't fucking matter. Artists be too concerned about their well-being sometimes. Artists be too scared to stand up for something. They scared to lose their fucking house. Or they scared to lose their record deal. I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Just stop right there. You know, when I was growing up, my grandmother would often say that an idle mind is the devil's playground. What do you mean by that? Like as a kid, you just, you know, she was just like, you got to stay busy. You got to stay doing something. You got to stay productive. You got to keep yourself occupied with something. And so often they could have included the Bible. It could Bible study. It could have included helping cook, clean, like just doing something that was more productive than just sitting around meandering about with no purpose and no cause. And what happens a lot of times is that when you don't have a purpose and you don't have a cause, you find yourself introspectively looking at your situation, your environment, and looking at things through a comparative lens, thinking about what you don't have and what you should have, thinking about everything that you think makes your life less important or more miserable than the next. And what happens is that when we take on that spirit and we take on that energy, when we see an opportunity to get out of that, when we see an opportunity to put food on the table, and it seems as if it's not going to take as much work or as much dedication or as much time as law school or medical school or engineering or computer science or data information, because it's not going to take that amount of time, that level of focus, that level of intention or attention, I'm going to opt to do those things, not because I'm necessarily good at, just because it appears to be easier. All I have to do is put some words together and I can put money in my pocket. That's how it starts for a lot of people. You presume that that's an easier path, but you're not seeing the forest before the trees. So here, Mr. West says himself that I sold my soul to the devil. I know it was a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. And so just in that line, everybody understands that he's trivializing that experience to show you how less meaningful it actually was in the larger scheme of things. So the same way that you will order a child a kid's meal. And why is the parent ordering the child that? Because the parent is in the financial position to do so, similar to a lot of labels or similar to a lot of people who can, quote unquote, create all these opportunities for you. They're in a better financial position or political position to do so. They'll open up these doors allegedly. And so that's how they reel you in. And the toys keep you occupied. But what do we know about kids and toys? Eventually they get tired of playing with them. It's nothing that's really meaningful in that. So we start with Kanye. Now let's take a look at another.
Stuff. I won't be doing this music stuff anymore. I started this because this was my dream. And, I wanted to make sure I could get me and my kids out the hood. It's always been my passion to rap.
Start right there. All right, so we're gonna stop right there because again, the devil will come at your lowest point, at your lowest moment, at the time that you're willing to give up, only for you to realize that you've been getting tested this entire time. This is why you have the book of Job. You use that as a reference point, as a frame. And from the onset in this situation, unfortunately, this would have been different if she would have been with a man, a husband, and a father who's able to actively care for and provide for herself and the children. And notice that she said kids, so she has more than one. And so now she's already spiritually out of position. And with her being spiritually out of position, she has to take on this other entity, this other energy to be able to, as she puts it, to feed her family, to feed her kids and herself. And so she finds herself willing to do, willing to entertain, willing to engage in things that she ordinarily wouldn't if she would have been put into her spiritually rightful position. That being a wife. But again, these are the underlying values that get overlooked when we're thinking about our own self interest, when we're not planning, when we're not thinking about the next 100 years. How do you want to bring these children into the world? So, for the people who do not have children, you have to think and process these things, evaluate, think long term. If I brought a child into this world right now, am I in a financial position to do so? And if you would like to do that, how will you do that?
A while ago, I had signed a contract and I didn't know nothing about the business or this game out here. And just right now, I'm realizing that I signed my soul. I sold my soul to the devil. I signed myself to the devil.
I mean, you notice that this didn't change much for her. I mean, this happened years ago, and she's had to acquiesce since then. She's been promoting a certain level of degeneracy among women since then. And these are her words. These are this. No one is forcing her to say this. No one's forcing Kanye to say what Kanye is saying. These are their words. Kanye had this song called "Devil in a Red Dress." The devil always comes in the form of things that you like. A snake slithers before it bites. It has to get close to you to bite. So I think a lot of people have to really sit and reflect when you're looking at these contracts. Why didn't she speak about her attorneys? Not the attorneys that work for the record labels, but the attorneys that have her best interests at heart. Because she already pointed out to you that she was broke. So she didn't have the money to put up for attorneys to actually protect herself. So she ended up signing her life away without even understanding her own legal rights. So now you're in a contract, and this can be multifaceted. You're in a contract that you sign, and then now you can also be entered into a blood covenant, blood in, blood out, unbeknownst to you. So now there's both your soul and there's both your body being sold to the highest bidder. Let's keep going.
I don't even own myself no more. I don't. I sold my soul to the motherfucking devil, and I done prayed. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. It's just like
And who are you praying to? Who are you praying to is the question. And is the God that you're praying to truly one that you serve? Because if you knew that you were making a deal with the devil, let's keep going.
I don't know if God can get me out of this, and it's just like to the point where I don't even know, like I can't. I just want to say I'm sorry to my fans. I know y'all love me. I know y'all believe in me, but I can't. I didn't know what I was doing back then.
You know, so often again, we rush into things because of what we want, our own selfish desires. And I think that there's, a brother by the name of Dee-1 that's really going to unpack this for us. Again, special shout out to the Art of Dialogue.
Do you feel like it's gatekeepers in hip hop?
Gatekeepers in the music industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what part of the industry you're trying to get access to, there's gatekeepers. So if you're trying to get signed to a major label, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on certain media platforms to get interviewed, there's gatekeepers. If you're trying to get on the mainstream radio, you heard me, urban radio, there's gatekeepers. Yes. I would say one last thing about gatekeepers. The only true gatekeeper to what's meant for you in this world is God and your level of integrity.
Stop right there. Facts. So God is the ultimate gatekeeper, but you have to choose the God that you serve. Everybody is not serving the same God, especially when we start discussing the industry. What I appreciate about Dee-1 is that he's giving his authentic point of view, but notice that he mentioned integrity. Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you when you are low, when you are going through adversity, when you are going through challenges and obstacles? Who are you when you are broke? A lot of people are completely different depending on their circumstances. They don't understand that the moral fiber, the moral character of your inner being says everything about you. Regardless of if you up, if you down, you still give God praise. You still give God praise. But so many of us will turn a blind eye and will accept the darkness. And then we'll find ourselves in situations where we're willing to do things that we know that we shouldn't. Let's keep going.
That's the only two gatekeepers, because what's meant for you and what you want, that's two different things. And a lot of times people end up wanting things that ain't of God. And now if you want something that ain't of God, you got to go through gatekeepers. So I'd rather go through God than go through gatekeepers any day. So all these people, all the times that I have encountered these gatekeepers in the industry and I'm knowing I'm overqualified for something, but I got somebody telling me I'm not good enough, or I'm not enough for this, or I'm not paying enough for that, I had to learn through maturity that that wasn't of God. You feel me? And that's what you got to check. Do you have godly ambition or do you have selfish ambition? And in this world, it's very easy to have selfish ambition, and that'll take you on a pathway to where you're going through all these gatekeepers who really ain't nobody in the big scheme of things. On the totem pole of people with integrity and people with morals, values, and principles, these gatekeepers ain't nobody. But in this perverted, sick, twisted industry, these gatekeepers do hold access to certain levels,
And this gets into why you have the devil's playground. Because on the playground, everything looks fun. The women look great. The devil in a red dress, as Kanye phrased it. You have the cars, you have the clothes, you have the fame, you have the access. And so while you're playing on the playground and you're engaging in these activities that you're not taking it anything more than face value. And sometimes what ends up happening is that a lot of people will end up sprung out. They'll be drinking, they'll be smoking, and they don't realize that the drink has been spiked. And so now you're drugged and you're out of your mind, and you'll find yourself in a room butt naked with another man and another man and some woman or something like a woman. And before you know it, you confused. Now you on tape. And then you saying that you trying to figure out, you trying to have some integrity and stand on something because now you're in your right state of mind. Not understanding that when those spirits get mixed and you're not making the best decisions, you have to be thinking about these things ahead of time. This is why we have to have these type of conversations. This is why I'm using this platform as a voice of reason for our people. When I'm speaking to you as men, because we have to safeguard ourselves and we have to safeguard our women. We have to do what we can to make better decisions, and our women will follow us. We have to work 10 times as hard, not because of any trinket that we will receive, because that's what God would demand, and that's what he deserves. Why would we give him anything less than our best? Why would we give God the least of us? Why God got to get us when we broken? Give God the best of you. Do the best you can and make the best decisions with the information that you have. Ask the questions, because when you start going down these paths, and then now you praying and now you crying. So when you suffering and you're in a worse off situation, now you need me. But when you up and you lit and you in the club and you popping the bottles and it's all fun and games on the playground, and you play right into the devil's hand. Let's keep going.
No, bro, I've had gatekeepers in the music industry who have literally tried to hold a record deal behind their back and let me know, like, look, if you're a part of this homosexual act that I'm trying to take part in, you hear me? Yeah, come on, this door open real quick for you. Like I got a song where I've talked about that before called "The Devil's Playground."
Exactly. The devil's playground. Exactly. And to this point, a lot of people don't necessarily really understand why the homosexual rituals are so rampant in these type of industries. And I think we'll probably have to we may reserve that for a Patreon exclusive, but we're really going to unpack that, right? Because again, people don't understand the guys that they serve. They don't understand Aleister Crowley. They're not understanding how the devil actually works and what that means, and how that's really a manifestation of you engaging in certain activities. As above, so below. And so when you turn your back on certain things, when you turn your back on God's way, and you find yourself down a certain path based on your own personal decisions, your own personal choices, these are choices that you're making. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, the homosexual rituals, and we're going to unpack this with the Pan, the Peter Pan, the Baphomet, the different forms of sacrifice. There's a lot of things just based on antiquity that a lot of people were engaging in that still go on to this day. So it's very much ritualistic than anything else. And a lot of times it's less about whether or not the person is actually a homosexual, and more about the power that person has over you, the spiritual transfer that has occurred in the emasculation of said person. Right. So you have to really look at that from that perspective. You know, what is it saying about your spirit when this happens to you? Because it's different if this is a part of who you are, and this is what you identify with, that's completely different. But if you know that you are identifying as a heterosexual man and you decide to engage in these type of homosexual rituals and still pretend to masquerade around as if you are into women, you are living a life of deception. And so this goes back into what I always speak about when looking at military science, how the enemy works and how the enemy chooses to deceive and mislead. And what ends up happening is that it puts our women at risk. And what's even more unfortunate is that a lot of times these individuals who are engaged in these activities are propped up before us as if they're some type of icon when they're a fraud. And now we have our women who idolize these celebrities, not knowing that these are actually homosexuals. And so our women are attracted to men who don't even like them, who don't even have an interest in them, who prefer something else. And then these same women may wonder why they end up in certain abusive or emotionally damaging situations where they're being treated a certain way because you aren't actually with a man that truly values or reciprocates the type of godlike energy that you deserve and that you need. And so you find yourself depleted. And so we get into this money thing where money is the only thing that seems to drive most people. And yes, money absolutely is important in this society to be able to do certain things. But when we put that as paramount over morals, over values, it leads us down a path of destruction. So enjoy the devil's playground.
Hey, this is real, dog. And the only way that that type of stuff can work on you is if you let them have all the leverage to where you want what's behind that gate that bad. So that's a real thing. You also got people who this a different type of gatekeeper. The gatekeepers who will say, "Hey, you making too much righteous noise right now. If you just tone that righteousness down a little bit, then we'll allow you into these doors. But you got to tone that down. You got to become a little more vanilla. You heard me? A little more lukewarm, a little more bland, and you'll fit in with us more." So that's the slick gatekeeping. It ain't telling you to all the way, bend over or open your mouth or something like that. It ain't that. But it's telling you, like, dim your light. And what ends up happening is you got so many people that's like, well, that's not that bad. They not asking me to do nothing super crazy. I just got to dim my light. That's the scariest kind right there. Because a lot of people will be like, wait, I just got to turn it from level 10 to level 5? Man, bet. I could do that, bro. I bet. Now I get accepted? Cool. Next thing you know, you got a whole industry, brother, that's lukewarm. Whole industry lukewarm. So then when somebody that's on fire come along, they looking at it like, whoa, you crazy. Hold on. You shining too bright. Hold on. Chill out, man. You doing the most. You messing up. Man, stop, man.
And so again, Pac said in an interview once, he said, I can't explain why I shine. This is my light. I'm here to spark the brain that changes the world. Every woman has a light inside of them that no other man should ever diminish, suppress, repress. And God gave you that. So he gave you the option and the opportunity to evolve and become one with him. And you got to make a choice on what that means to you. A lot of times in these situations, we would dim our light to make other people feel comfortable. We do it all the time. Man, I don't want nobody feeling weird, so I'm gonna just fall back. I'm just, man, you know how they get, man, when I come around. No, man, be you. Be you. And being you means being your best version. And over time, the truth will reveal itself. Never let anybody dim your light. Never let anybody steal your joy. And we have a problem with doing that. And then we get to a certain place or we get to a certain level and we want to make other people feel comfortable. For what? Our biggest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our biggest fear is that we shine and we are great beyond measure. This is your mindset that you got to be in at all times, gentlemen. All right? Warrior mentality. Let's work.
Crazy, man. So I want to backtrack, right? Because I mean, yeah, we definitely got to backtrack, man. So you saying that somebody came up to you personally trying to get you involved into, you know, some homosexual activity?
Me personally, I definitely dealt with that, brother. Like I said, I done rapped about it and everything. So
I want you all to notice body language because most communication that happens is nonverbal. So the way that people communicate is typically through mannerisms. And I always look at their eyes. Also notice how humor is used as a way to mislead you in a sense of downplaying how a person truly feels. Always pay attention to that.
Nowadays, these labels, they crunch the numbers. They figure out what works, what brings them money, what doesn't. Rappers getting locked up and rappers dying on two of the biggest
Money
promotions
makers.
as far as money makers
Correct.
for labels. Now, I've spoken to a lot of independent artists. Shout out to Source Walker. One of the things that he told me when I said, yo, Jay been trying to sign me. I'm like, yo, why wouldn't you sign? He said, because I don't want a label playing with my life.
Facts. That's bad. That's real.
That means playing with, okay, because I'm gonna expose. That means playing with your butt. You know what I mean? No, listen.
Now you see right then, notice the euphemism that he was using. So the euphemism that I believe this gentleman's name is Mav Hoffa, the euphemism that he was using is playing with my life. And then the other guy, he goes in, he's like, okay, this is what that actually means. See, this is how context matters. This is how understanding the words and the framing of it matters, because you don't really know the level of depth with it because of the way it sounds, right?
Because no, I'll be honest. Look, because I've been doing music. No, because I feel like we gotta put it out there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of listen.
Two way go.
You edit it out. Listen, you edit it out. No, listen, because I feel like
that's not what he meant, by the way. But go ahead.
No, listen.
Not what he meant,
I'm not saying what he meant. I'm just saying in general, because I feel like a lot of people, like, I had like 2 record deals, right? And
they wanted your butt?
Yeah.
Wait.
No, he said
Hold on.
He said, yo.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hey man, let the man talk. Let the man talk. You know, it's a lot of reactions. It seems as if, it seems as if some things are not being said. Let's keep watching.
Smart.
Yeah, what happened?
You was fucking with G-Unit.
That's look, he ain't smoked nothing, bro.
Hold on, I didn't know that. Hold on, I didn't know that. 50? Man, especially the way that he's coming at Diddy right now. I don't know about that. Okay, this is interesting. I mean, unless there is other people that we may not know. I mean, if he was with G-Unit, I mean, this just shocked me. You know, but I mean, at this point, you know, you can never really, you can't put anything past anybody at some point. So hopefully this is not the case for Curtis Jackson, but who knows? He seems to be a genuine guy, so he may be referring to someone else. Let's see.
Hold on.
You ain't blink.
Jesus, okay. Sit back.
Like,
Yo, who would G-Unit wanted your butt, bro?
Listen, hold on. Look.
What's his name?
So look, let me be clear, right? Not because it's not even funny. I'm keeping it real, right? It's not even funny. Now, I'm not a homosexual. I never did no homosexual shit. Nobody never played with my butt. But what happens is
there should be no butt after that last point. You period that, and then you move on to the next
nobody
sentence.
never did.
That's it. Nah, I mean, but listen, but listen. What I'm saying is, you know, they proposition you. They do things indirectly. Like they might send a stylist at you, right? Listen, they might send a stylist at you.
All right, make sure you pay attention to this because this is getting ready to unpack on the military science. This is the warfare at work to come after you for your soul. All right.
Where this?
And the stylist is being all extra tight. Listen, homie, we ain't doing that. Or they might invite you to a party and there's no bitches there. It's a sausage party. Wait, hold on, I'm out. You know what I mean? So a lot of guys, artists that get into this game, they want to get deals. They get in, they got talent, they got good intentions, and then
have you been to these parties personally? Have you seen them?
You can't get.
That's a Doggy Diamonds question. Shout out Doggy Diamonds.
Right.
Shout out Doggy Diamonds.
You can't make it to the real party because somewhere if you're not a homosexual, they got a filtering out process.
Yeah.
So they'll send a stylist. They'll have you out and about because they trying to drug you. So you be in a studio session late at night and they'll see if you a meatball, yo bro, here hit this blunt. You ain't see the blunt get rolled, or your bro.
Now, this is something that I always tell young men. Listen, it's no reason why you should be sharing blunts with anybody. If I don't encourage smoking in any capacity. That's not something that I do personally. But if it's you and you decide that that's what you want to partake in, you need to be the person that's in control of your own destiny. Why are you entrusting people? I've seen people that you've never met. You've never had a conversation with them a day in your life. And you get together, you in some party function, and you're passing around a blunt together from this person's mouth to this person's mouth to this person's mouth. And you don't think that that's sketchy? You don't think that that's problematic? Slow down. And for women, you shouldn't even listen. Any of the women that I know that even partake, they either grow on their own or they make sure that they pay for it up front and they have their own supply. You know, where we from, man, we call that broke behavior. That's not how we moving out here. You shouldn't need to lean on somebody else for their blunt. And that, I mean, and put that with hookah, like you can get so many different diseases following behind other people. You don't know what other people have spiritually, sexually, and so forth. So just slow down, man. Listen, and that's with drinks too. I've seen people drink behind each other. See, this is how you gotta guard yourself. You gotta safeguard yourself, protect yourself.
Take this drink right here. And you like, hold on, bro. Listen, homie, I ain't with that. And some dudes that get drunk. Like I've been in studios with artists, famous artists, and I seen niggas take a bottle that wasn't theirs and they in the studio all woozy. I'm like, I'm out. I don't know what happened to that person after, but that shit didn't. You know, it's like a nigga trying to get a chick drunk because he want to pop. Right? So
wait a minute. You even help a nigga? You not wait a minute.
Bro, listen.
Wait a minute.
Listen,
he left that nigga there with Zach.
Yeah, because,
are you saying
go ahead.
Somebody at G-Unit tried to get you, bro?
See, look, you trying to sensationalize it. What I'm saying
I'm trying to figure it out.
What I just told you. When you in this business, right, and you got talent, they want you because you got influence. The devil's job is to get as many souls as possible. So if you got the potential to be influential, they want you, not because you're talent, because they could use you as a tool to push their agenda. Now, in order for them to fully put you in position, they have to make sure that you're willing to get in position. And that position is taking dick in the ass, bro. So once you
see that, well, see.
Notice what he said. In order for you to get in position, you have to be put in a position. The scary times that we're living in, but this has been going on for a long time. This has been going on for a long time. And when we unpack this on the Baphomet and so many other things, we'll really be able to sit and dissect and process this. and this is not the sensationalizing in any regard. I agree with that. You know, really focus on the tenor of what he's saying. That there is a ritualistic process. There's a filtering out process to see what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. I'm going to plant people around you over a period of time to assess and observe your behavior. This is me gathering empirical data, and based on what you do, that's going to let me know your level of interest. So I'm going to send you to this party, and how you act or how you interact in that circumstance, that's going to share, that's going to reveal to me everything that I need to know so you can keep going through the next door. Just as simple as that. Let's keep going.
See, the thing about it today is that you don't, the gatekeepers that used to be there when my people were coming up, they're not. They're not, because let me tell you, between the internet, I see more people make more money on YouTube.
What you think about this, man?
The gate hiding what you think, B.
Feev very goes deep into subjects, and I like his point of view. So let's see, Feev.
Get the red one.
What you think, Feev?
Just right there, man. Hold on.
It seems as if they ain't want to let him talk too much. Like, how you gonna disprove what his experience is? They started ushering in someone else, man. Let the man speak.
You gotta
talk up. I got it.
You're talking about gay sex parties and the industry wanting your butt.
Now I've always look. Let me say my stance on it. Let me say my stance.
They went to a mansion party, and then it was niggas running around in there. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying it don't exist.
I'm gonna say this. No matter what category of business you're in,
still the same thing.
You're gonna find rich people who are playing for the other side.
French
period.
French
I'm not
people.
saying that
French.
But this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying like it's just a hip hop thing or whatever. You're gonna find that. Now, whether it makes you uncomfortable, whether it makes you feel like they trying to get you, that's a different thing in itself.
I'm different than y'all.
Yeah, now first of all, listen.
No,
this is a fact. I'm telling you, I'm telling you for a fact. No, I'm just
being realistic.
No. They got rituals. See, you got the right one.
I don't know about rituals.
I never sold myself.
Now why are you not just letting the man speak? You said what you had to say. He's saying that he disagrees. Let the man speak. And it's almost as if he knows more than what he's telling. And so again, this goes back to the deception aspect of, okay, why is it that when this other person is giving their own perspective, that you're not letting them actually get through their train of thought? Interesting.
Everything on gay shit. So I don't feel uncomfortable saying about it. What I told you, the devil's job is to take as many souls as possible. The music industry is satanic. When I say it's still the same gatekeepers, what I mean by that, it's a company called Vivendi. Period. Vivendi. Y'all can Google that. Vivendi owns Viacom. It's umbrella companies. This motherfuckers, this shit don't change, right? That's one. Two, with the music business, once they see you got potential to be influential over the masses, like we said earlier, you said a fan look at you and be like, yo, you motivate me. You motivate me. I motivate people that fuck with my music. So you're like, yeah, we want him. We want him. We want math. We want him. We want smart, right? So now they want you to push this evil shit. Now you thinking like, all right, fuck it, it's lit. I'm trying to get on. They throw money at you because, you know, we be real niggas. So from the rip, you be like, all right, this is cool. Then you start seeing the funny shit.
Yeah.
And then you see other niggas, not saying you, let's just say it's another nigga, another rapper, right? So I'm a rapper, not you. It's another rapper. And you think this nigga's official. So we come in together, we like, yo, this shit, you start seeing this nigga get less and less official. Now he doing the photo shoot. Now the stylist is playing with his balls on the photo shoot. You're gonna size like this. You're like, hold up. All right, my nigga, I ain't with that, bro. Right? So now once they see, it's like hazing. In order for you to get to the next level.
Did you see a stylist play with somebody's
Yes, the fuck I did.
ball?
Yes, the fuck I did.
Okay.
Yes, the fuck I did.
So there's two.
Yes, I did, bro.
There's two parts.
Why are they not letting him finish? He still was in his stream of consciousness. He was in his flow phase right there. Right? So I don't know. These are things that definitely raise the eyebrow. Definitely raise the eyebrow just on the people that are in the room right now and how they moving in this situation and just wanting to make it such a joke. You know, we as men, we have to be able to say things in seriousness. You know, jokes will have their time, but it's certain time periods where you got to put the jokes to the side and you have to discuss things as men. And because you're comfortable in your sexuality, you don't. And like, that's why I agree what he's saying. Like you don't mind saying whatever needs to be said because it's a life lesson in what you're saying. You want people to be able to walk away with something that's tangible and teachable, rather than, you know, just a lot of comedy.
Are you willing to say?
There's two parts to it.
Is it snitching?
Wait, hold on. That was one of the parts right there. So
that was snitching.
Yo,
have you told niggas?
Wait, stop up. Okay.
See, look, now,
so
one.
All right. So again, you know, wrapping this up, summing this up, the crux of it is this. Guard your soul. Be leery, be discerning about who you are and what you want versus what God has for you. Be careful about feeding yourself with your own selfish desires and focus on manifesting and coming into what it is that has been made for you. Move with purpose and move with cause. Move with intention rather than looking and searching for validation and attention. As men, we have a responsibility to live our truth in an authentic manner. Because as we bring a wife and children into this world, we owe them that. Not to live a life based on deception, but we have to understand the nature of the different environments, the nature of the game that we are in, because again, this is a game. In a lot of different instances, you have to figure out what you're willing to play and what you're not. Do you know the rules of the game? And then now you have to navigate accordingly. So definitely hope you took away something valuable. We're going to actually have to unpack the reason why a lot of these homosexual rituals occur in the music industry and in a lot of different industries. We definitely have to unpack that. But again, like, comment, subscribe. It's going to be more heat on the way, a lot more different topics. Appreciate you all for tuning in, and we'll be back. Take care. Reporter Perspective.